This video is about a woman was humiliated until a wealthy investor changed everything. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In a bustling city, where dreams danced through the air like glittering stars, there lived a woman named Clara. At 35, she was the proud owner of a small, struggling bakery called Clara's Delight. Each morning, the aroma of freshly baked bread filled the air as she kneaded dough with her calloused hands, a testament to years of hard work and perseverance. Clara's life had not been easy. Raised by a single mother, she learned early on about the beauty of kindness and the strength that lies within adversity. Her mother had worked 3 jobs to make ends meet, and Clara often assisted her with chores, learning the value of hard work. By the time Clara launched her bakery, she envisioned it as a place where people could find solace in sweet treats and warm conversations. Yet, the reality of owning a small business was much harsher than she had anticipated. The rent was steep and competition was fierce. On most days, Clara barely managed to keep her shop afloat. Still, she held onto hope, believing that her passion and the quality of her pastries would eventually shine through. One fateful afternoon, as rain drummed softly against the windows, Clara was organizing a small display of her signature cupcakes when the bell above the door jingled. In walked a tall man, dressed sharply in a tailored suit, his presence immediately commanding the room. Clara's heart raced as she brushed flour from her hands and greeted him. "Welcome to Clara's Delight. Can I interest you in a cupcake? They were freshly baked," she said with a warm smile, trying to mask the nerves that fluttered in her stomach. The man glanced around, his eyes briefly landing on her homemade goods. "I'll take a dozen of those," he replied, pointing to her red velvet cupcakes, "and I'd like to have a chat with the owner, if she is available." Clara's heart raced. She had never had a customer ask for a conversation before. "That would be me," she said, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "What can I help you with?" "I am Ethan Blake, an investor," he introduced himself, his tone casual yet authoritative. "I've been watching your business grow, and I believe there is potential here." Clara felt the warmth of hope ignite within her. "You think so? I am just a small bakery, but I pour my heart into it." "That is exactly why I am interested," Ethan replied, leaning against the counter. "People like your pastries because they are made with love, but you need a plan to expand and thrive." Clara bristled at the thought of change. "I don't know if I can take on more. I've barely kept up with my current operations." With an understanding nod, Ethan softened his approach. "Change is daunting, but it can also be beautiful. What if I helped you? We could develop a strategy to reach more customers." For weeks, Clara mulled over Ethan's offer. Each night, she'd lie awake, replaying the conversation in her mind. The allure of growth loomed large, if fear held her captive. What if she failed? What if her dreams slipped through her fingers like flour blown in the wind? Finally, after nights filled with indecision, Clara made a choice. She called Ethan, her heart pounding. "I'd like to meet," she said, each word laced with both fear and excitement. "I think I am ready to hear more about your vision." They met at a nearby cafe, where Clara sipped coffee, her hands trembling slightly around the warm mug. Ethan presented his plans with an enthusiasm that was contagious, sketching ideas on napkins and outlining strategies. It was exhilarating, and Clara felt a flicker of hope igniting within her once more. As the weeks passed, Clara immersed herself in the process. She learned about marketing, pricing, and customer engagement. Slowly, she saw her bakery transform, not only in appearance but in spirit. Her customers began to notice the changes in new sign outside, social media posts showcasing her delightful creations, and even the option for delivery. But amidst the excitement, challenges lurked. One sunny afternoon, Clara poured her heart into a new pastry, a chocolate raspberry tart she believed would be a hit. She had spent hours perfecting the recipe, her hands stained with chocolate and her mind racing with anticipation. However, during an important tasting event she had organized, Clara's heart plummeted when a group of local food bloggers harshly criticized her creation. "Too sweet," one scoffed, while another grimaced. Clara felt the heat rise to her cheeks, humiliation washed over her like a cold wave. Later that evening, sitting alone in her bakery, Clara felt crushed. She had worked so hard, only to be torn down in a matter of moments. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she cradled her head in her hands, questioning whether she should keep fighting or surrender to defeat. Just then, the bell above her door chimed, signaling a customer entering. Clara looked up, her eyes still red from crying. It was Ethan. "Hey, I thought I'd check in," he said, his voice brightening the dim room. "I brought you a little something," he continued, holding up a box of pastries from a competitor. "I thought we could taste them together." As they sampled the pastries, Clara shared her frustrations. "I feel like I am never going to make it. Maybe I am not cut out for this after all." Ethan listened intently, nodding. "You remember the first time we met? You told me about your mother and how she taught you resilience. Don't you forget that strength." Clara breathed deeply. "It's just hard to see the light sometimes. Every entrepreneur faces setbacks," Ethan reassured her. "It is part of the journey. The key is to learn and adapt. Use the feedback to improve. Don't let it define you." Inspired by his words, Clara wiped her tears and began to see a flicker of light again. She realized that every failure could be a stepping stone, a lesson in disguise. With renewed determination, she set out to improve her recipes, even inviting her customers to share their opinions. Days turned into weeks, and Clara's bakery began to flourish. She found ways to engage her customers, hosting tasting events where they could vote for the next pastry of the month. The bakery transformed into a community hub, where laughter and warmth mingled with the sweet smells of baked goods. Yet, just as things seemed to be on the upswing, Clara faced another hurdle. One evening, she discovered that her rent had increased dramatically. The landlord, having seen Clara's burgeoning success, wanted to cash in. Panic surged through her veins, and she found herself on the verge of despair. "Clara, you can fight this," Ethan urged during one of their strategy meetings. "You've rebuilt something beautiful here. Don't let them take it away without a fight." But Clara felt overwhelmed. "What if I can't keep up? What if I lose everything?" Ethan placed his hand on hers, a gesture of camaraderie. "Remember, every setback is an opportunity for a comeback. You've faced obstacles before. You're stronger than you think." With Ethan's encouragement, Clara rallied her spirit. She sought advice from other local business owners and learned about tenant rights. Together, they banded together, presenting a united front against the landlord, showcasing how they contributed to the community's vibrancy. After weeks of negotiation, Clara prevailed. She secured a lease that allowed her to stay in her beloved bakery, her heart swelling with relief and gratitude. In the face of adversity, the human spirit shines brightest. Clara realized resilience wasn't merely about overcoming challenges, it was about embracing the journey, with all its ups and downs. With newfound determination, she stood firmly at the counter over Clara's delights, heart brimming with hope, ready to face whatever came next. As the sun set and the city buzzed with life around her, Clara knew she was on a path to something truly beautiful, armed with resilience, kindness, and a sprinkle of unwavering hope. Days turned into weeks, and Clara's bakery flourished like the morning sun breaking through the clouds after a storm. The aroma of fresh pastries wafted through the air, mingling with laughter and joyous chatter. Clara embraced every moment, grateful for each customer who walked through her door, but the memory of that harsh critique lingered in her mind like a stubborn shadow. One bright Monday morning, Clara set up a tasting event, hoping to unveil a new creation, a lemon lavender scone that had been inspired by her mother's garden. She had spent hours perfecting the recipe, balancing the tartness of lemon with the subtle floral notes of lavender. She felt excited yet anxious, the memory of the critic's harsh words still echoing in her heart. "Do you really think they'll like it?" Clara asked Ethan, who had joined her for the event. He smiled, his confidence radiating warmth. "You've put your heart into this. Remember that feedback is just a part of the process. Trust yourself." As the customers trickled in, Clara's nerves began to settle. The inviting atmosphere of the bakery, filled with the scent of sweet lavender and tangy lemon, was intoxicating. Clara welcomed her regulars with a smile, and the room quickly filled with chatter as friends gathered to taste her latest creation. "Clara, you've outdone yourself again," one customer exclaimed, taking a large bite of the scone. The others nodded in agreement, savoring the flavors. Clara felt a flutter of joy, each compliment soothing the remnants of her insecurities. As she moved from table to table, engaging with her customers, she felt the bond of community strengthen around her. But just then, the door jingled, and a familiar figure walked in: Samantha, the food blogger who had criticized her chocolate raspberry tart. Clara's heart sank for a moment, memories of her humiliation flooding back. But she remembered Ethan's words and took a deep breath, reminding herself to focus on the present. "Welcome. Samantha, care to join us for a taste testing?" Clara offered, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Samantha hesitated, her expression unreadable. "Sure, I am always up for a taste," she replied, a hint of surprise in her voice. As Clara placed the lemon lavender scones in front of Samantha, she felt a mixture of apprehension and resolve. "I hope you enjoy these," she said, watching closely as Samantha took her first bite. The seconds felt like hours, but finally, Samantha's eyes brightened. Wow, this is incredible, Clara. The flavors are so well balanced. Clara's heart soared. Thank you, I am really glad you like it. As the event unfolded, the atmosphere was filled with laughter and compliments. Clara watched her customers enjoy her pastries, feeling a sense of belonging wash over her. When the event concluded and the last scone had been devoured, Clara knew she had taken a significant step in her journey. But the next day, as she began to clean the bakery, an unexpected challenge knocked on her door. The local newspaper called requesting an interview. They wanted to feature Clara's delights in a series about small businesses that were thriving despite adversity. Clara's heart raced with excitement and anxiety. Asterisk, what if they uncover the struggles I faced? Asterisk. With Ethan's encouragement, Clara agreed to the interview. Seated across from the journalist, Clara felt exposed but determined to share her story authentically. I believe resilience is about the journey, not just the destination, she explained. Every setback has taught me something valuable. As the journalist listened intently, Clara opened up about her early struggles, the harsh critiques, and the support she had found in her community and through Ethan. The conversation flowed easily as Clara poured her heart into her words, painting a picture of hope and perseverance. After the interview, Clara felt lighter. It was liberating to share her story, and she realized that vulnerability often leads to connection. A few days later, the article was published, celebrating her journey and the spirit of her bakery. To her surprise, it sparked a surge in customers eager to experience Clara's delights for themselves. While the bakery flourished, Clara's mind was still heavy with concerns. One afternoon, as she sifted through bills, she noticed a glaring figure that made her heart pound, a reminder from her landlord about the rent increase. It felt like a dark cloud hovering over her hard-earned success. Panic gripped her. "Ethan, what do I do?" she cried during the next meeting, her voice quaking with fear. Ethan's expression turned serious but remained supportive. "We can negotiate. You've done so much for the community, it is time to advocate for yourself." "But what if they refuse? What if I can't fight this?" Clara's voice trembled, her insecurities creeping back like unwelcome guests. "Clara, you've conquered so many challenges already. Remember the tasting event? You faced your critics and emerged stronger. You can do this again," Ethan encouraged, placing his hand over hers. "Let us draft a plan together." With Ethan's guidance, Clara prepared for the negotiation. They researched local tenant rights and gathered testimonials from loyal customers who shared how her bakery had positively impacted their lives. Clara drew strength from the community she had built, realizing they believed in her just as much as she believed in herself. The day of the meeting arrived, and Clara walked into the landlord's office, her heart pounding. With every word she spoke, she felt the support of her customers and the encouragement of Ethan behind her. "I understand the need for increases, but I've worked hard to create a space that draws people in and contributes to the community," she explained passionately. The landlord listened, and for the first time, Clara saw a flicker of understanding in his eyes. "I appreciate your dedication, Clara. Let us find a middle ground that works for both of us," he suggested. Clara left the meeting with a renewed sense of empowerment. The negotiations had been tough, but she secured a compromise that kept her bakery thriving while allowing for a reasonable increase. It was a victory not just for her business, but for her spirit. Weeks later, as Clara stood behind the counter of Clara's Delights, she marveled at how far she had come. She watched children laugh as they enjoyed warm pastries, families gather over coffee, and friendships blossom within her walls. Her bakery had transformed into a sanctuary of joy, resilience, and community. One evening, Clara received a call from Ethan. "I have exciting news," he said, his voice filled with enthusiasm. "There is an opportunity for you to partner with a local wellness center. Are you interested in providing your pastries in their cafe?" Clara's heart raced. "Really? That sounds incredible." "Exactly. Think about it, your pastries will reach a whole new audience, and you can keep growing," Ethan encouraged. It is time to take another leap. The thought both thrilled and terrified Clara, but she remembered the countless challenges she had faced and overcome. "Let us do it," she said, her voice steady with determination. As Clara embarked on this new partnership, she reflected on her journey. She had faced humiliation, fear, and doubt, yet each challenge had sculpted her into the woman she had become. With every pastry she crafted, she infused a piece of her heart, transforming not just flour and sugar, but also hope and resilience into something beautiful. Clara's Delights became a beacon of inspiration in a community, a reminder that the human spirit could rise above adversity. Clara smiled as she looked around her bakery, knowing that with kindness, perseverance, and a sprinkle of hope, she could face whatever lay ahead. Every day was a new beginning, and Clara was ready to embrace it with open arms, her heart filled with gratitude for the journey that had brought her here. Clara stood in the warm glow of her bakery, Clara S. the lights, surrounded by the familiar scent of sweet pastries and freshly brewed coffee. Each morning was a new canvas, and today she was particularly excited. Their partnership with the local wellness center had sparked a flurry of creativity. Clara had spent the last few weeks experimenting with healthy recipes that preserve the joy of indulgence, a balance of nourishment and delight. "Were you ready for this?" Clara's best friend, Lily, said as she arranged a display of granola bars made from locally sourced oats and honey. "I think so," Clara replied, her hands shaking slightly as she decorated a batch of acai berry muffins. "I just want them to love everything. What if I mess it up?" Lily chuckled gently, a sound that always seemed to ease Clara's worries. "You wouldn't mess it up. Remember when you had that disaster with the chocolate raspberry tart? Look how far you've come since then. You have the heart, Clara, and that matters more than anything." Clara smiled, the memory of that day floating back, a reminder of the resilience that had blossomed within her. She had learned to embrace criticism and transform it into strength, allowing her community to support her in ways she never expected. With a deep breath, she loaded the muffins into a box, ready to deliver them to the wellness center. "Let us get these in the car," Lily said, grabbing the other end of the box. "They'll love them, I promise." As they drove through the lively streets, Clara's mind raced with possibilities. The wellness center was known for its holistic approach to health, and Clara had tailored her pastries to align with that philosophy: sugar alternatives, whole grains, and vibrant fruits. Asterisk, what if they don't tea like them? Asterisk, the doubt crept in again, but she pushed it aside, repeating Ethan's words: "Resilience is about trusting yourself amidst uncertainty." Upon arriving, Clara took a moment to soak in the atmosphere of the wellness center. It was an inviting space, filled with plants and soft lighting, where people came to find peace and healing. Clara and Lily stepped inside, greeted by the warm smile of Eliza, the center's director. "Clara, have you been looking forward to this?" Eliza exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "We're thrilled to partner with you. Your bakery has already brought so much joy to our community." "Thank you, Eliza. I am excited to share these with you," Clara replied, her heart pounding with hope. After a brief tour of the center, Eliza led Clara to the cafe area, where they laid out the pastries. A group of wellness practitioners and clients began to gather, their curiosity piqued by the delightful aroma wafting through the air. "Here they are," Clara announced, her voice unwavering despite the nervous flutter in her stomach. "I've created some new recipes to complement your wellness philosophy." As she introduced each pastry, Clara watched the faces of her audience. The skepticism melted away with each bite. She was captivated by the way their eyes brightened, her heart soared as she witnessed them enjoying her creations, savoring the blend of flavors she had poured her soul into. "This is incredible," exclaimed one of the practitioners, her smile wide as she took a second bite of the acai berry muffin. "It is sweet, but not too sweet. You've balanced it perfectly." Clara's confidence began to swell. The laughter and chatter around her filled the cafe, and for the first time in a long while, she felt something profound: acceptance and belonging. She had built more than a bakery, she had created a community where her story resonated. "I can't believe I was ever afraid of this moment," Clara chuckled, exchanging a glance with Lily, who nodded in agreement. As the event continued, Clara shared her journey, the struggles, and the lessons she had learned along the way. Her story of resilience and hope seemed to touch everyone in the room, and Clara could see their spirits lift with her words. After the event, Eliza approached Clara with a warm smile. "You have a gift, Clara. I'd love to feature your pastries on our menu regularly. They align beautifully with our mission." With tears of joy glistening in her eyes, Clara nodded. "I'd be honored." The partnership blossomed, and Clara found herself busier than ever. Her bakery was thriving, and she was becoming a staple in the wellness community. But as the months passed, Clara faced new challenges. The demands of running a growing business often left her feeling stretched thin. There were days when exhaustion clouded her passion. One evening, as she closed the shop, Clara collapsed onto a stool, her energy zapped. "Lily," she sighed, rubbing her temples. "I am feeling overwhelmed. There is so much to do, and I am scared I'll let everyone down." Lily joined her, placing a comforting hand on Clara's shoulder. "It is okay to feel this way. You've taken on a lot, and it is natural to feel the weight of it all. Have you talked to Ethan? He might have some ideas." Clara nodded, knowing that Ethan had always been a source of support. She reached for her phone and called him. Hey Ethan, can we meet tomorrow? I could use some advice. Of course, I am here for you, he replied warmly. We LL strategized together. The next day, Clara met Ethan at their favorite cafe. As they sat across from one another, she shared her feelings of doubt and exhaustion. I love what I am doing, but I feel like I am on the brink of burnout. Ethan listened intently, nodding. Running a business is tough, especially when it is growing. It is crucial to find balance. What if we created a plan together to manage your time and delegate some tasks? Clara pondered for a moment. You're right. I've been trying to do everything myself. Maybe I could hire an assistant or train someone at the bakery to help. Absolutely. Surround yourself with people who share your vision. You don't have to do it all alone, Ethan encouraged. With renewed determination, Clara returned to the bakery and implemented changes. She hired a part-time assistant who shared her love for baking, and together they streamlined operations. Clara also set aside time for herself, rediscovering the joy of creating without the pressure of constant demands. One afternoon, while experimenting with a new recipe, Clara felt a surge of inspiration. What if I created a line of seasonal pastries? She mused aloud, her mind racing with ideas. I could incorporate local ingredients and highlight community farmers. Lily, who was helping, chimed in with excitement. That would be amazing. Imagine the stories you could tell about each ingredient and the people behind them. Clara's heart raced at the thought. She began to research local farms and suppliers, eager to collaborate. When she spoke to her customers about the new line, their enthusiasm fueled her creativity, and soon, Clara's Seasonal Delights was born. As the seasons changed, Clara introduced flavors that reflected the bounty of each time of year. In spring, she crafted lavender honey tarts made from local blooms. In summer, fresh peach cobblers that celebrated the fruit of nearby orchards. Each pastry came with a story, connecting her customers to the farmers and their craft. The community responded enthusiastically, and Clara's bakery became a hub of local pride. Customers would come to not only enjoy pastries, but to learn about the people who contributed to their creation. Clara hosted workshops where she taught the art of baking and shared the importance of supporting local vendors. One evening, during one of these workshops, Clara noticed a young girl, Mia, who watched intently as Clara demonstrated how to make blueberry muffins. After the session, Mia approached Clara shyly. Can I help you in the bakery sometime? I love baking, but I don't know much. Clara's heart warmed at Mia's request. Absolutely, I'd love to have you. You can help me create some new recipes. As days turned into weeks, Mia became a regular at the bakery. Clara watched in awe as the young girl blossomed, her confidence growing with every batch they baked together. They reminded Clara of her own journey, and she felt a sense of fulfillment she had never imagined. One day, while they were baking, Mia asked, Clara, do you ever get scared? Clara paused, reflecting on her own fears and challenges. All the time, Mia, but I've learned that fear can teach us important lessons. It is okay to feel scared, but what matters is how we respond. We can choose to face it. Mia nodded, her eyes bright with understanding. I want to be brave like you. Clara smiled, placing a gentle hand on Mia's shoulder. You already are, Mia. Being brave doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you keep going despite your fears. Months passed, and the bond Clara formed with Mia deepened. Clara felt a sense of responsibility to not only nurture a bakery, but also to inspire the next generation. She began to mentor young aspiring bakers, sharing her knowledge and passion. One day, as Clara was preparing for a big community event celebrating local food artisans, she felt a familiar flutter of nervousness. The stakes felt higher than ever. She turned to Ethan for support. What if I mess up? What if no one likes my pastries at the event? Ethan smiled, placing a reassuring hand on her back. The sun was shining brightly on the day of the community event, casting a golden hue over the bustling square where Clara prepared her booth. The aroma of her pastries wafted through the air, mingling with the scent of freshly cut grass and blooming flowers. Excitement buzzed around her as vendors set up their stalls, each representing the vibrant spirit of the community. Clara stood behind her table, adorned with colorful displays of her seasonal pastries. Tables of fresh lavender honey tarts, peach cobblers, and acai muffins awaited eager customers. But despite the excitement, Clara's heart raced with anxiety. Asterisk, what if they don't embrace my creations? What if they don't love them? Asterisk. Hey, you okay? Ethan's familiar voice broke through her thoughts, grounding her. I don't know, Ethan, Clara admitted, her voice shaky. What if I mess this up? What if no one comes to taste my pastries? What if they don't like them? Ethan leaned against the table, his expression warm and reassuring. Clara, this is your moment. UV poured your heart and soul into everything UV created. You re not just selling pastries, you re sharing your story. Remember how far UV come. Clara took a deep breath, allowing Ethan's words to wash over her. You re right, it feels so different in this larger setting. What if my past failures catch up to me? The one T. Every setback has shaped you into the remarkable baker you are today. Focus on the joy you bring to people. That's what matters, he encouraged, his eyes shining with belief. Clara nodded, a flicker of determination igniting within her. Thank you, Ethan, I really needed that. As the event began, a steady stream of visitors filled the square. Clara's heart swelled as families laughed, children chased one another, and friendships blossomed amidst the lively atmosphere. The energy was infectious, and she felt her nerves begin to subside. Clara, your booth looks amazing. A familiar voice called out. It was Lily, her best friend, who rushed over with a grin plastered across her face. I can't believe how many people are here already. Thanks, Lily. I am so glad you made it, Clara replied, feeling a sense of warmth from her friend's presence. I hope they like my pastries. Of course they will. Your baked goods are legendary. Lily exclaimed, grabbing a peach cobbler and taking a bite. So good, you've outdone yourself. Clara chuckled, her confidence bolstered by her friend's enthusiasm. I just want everyone to enjoy them. Ivy worked so hard to create something special. The hours flew by as Clara engaged with customers, sharing stories about her seasonal ingredients and the farmers who provided them. Each compliment resonated deep within her, a reminder that her passion had the power to connect people. Yet, as the sun began to set, Clara caught sight of a familiar face weaving through the crowd. Samantha, the food blogger who had once crushed her spirit. Anxiety crept back in, but Clara reminded herself of the progress she had made. Clenching her fists in determination, she summoned her courage and approached Samantha. Hi, Samantha, I see you've come to the event. Samantha looked up, her expression softening. Hi, Clara, I've heard great things about your pastries lately. I wanted to see for myself. Clara felt a rush of hope swell within her. I'd love for you to try one of my seasonal tarts. Have you been putting my heart into these new recipes? As Samantha took a bite of the lavender honey tart, Clara held her breath. Asterisk, please let her like it. Asterisk. This is incredible. Samantha exclaimed, her eyes wide with delight. The balance of flavors is spot on. You've really developed your craft. Clara's heart soared, the weight of past criticism lifting like a fog. Thank you, that means so much coming from you. As the evening unfolded, Clara felt more relaxed than ever. The laughter and chatter enveloped her like a warm embrace, and she reveled in the joy of sharing her creations. Just as she was about to catch her breath, a young girl tugged at her apron. Miss Clara, the girl asked, her wide eyes shining with excitement. Can I help you make pastry someday? Clara knelt down to meet the girl's gaze. Of course, what is your name? Mia, the girl replied shyly. I love baking, and I want to learn just like you. Clara's heart fluttered. You already have the spirit of a baker, Mia. I'd be thrilled to teach you. Overwhelmed with joy, Clara took a moment to absorb the happiness surrounding her. The community had embraced her not only for her pastries, but also for the story woven into each creation. She was more than a baker, she was a beacon of resilience, a reminder that struggles could turn into something beautiful. Later that evening, as the event began to wind down, Clara found herself reflecting on her journey. She stood behind her booth, gazing at the smiles of those who had tasted her pastries. It struck her how far she had come from being humiliated to standing tall, surrounded by a community that believed in her. As people began to pack up, Clara felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. It was time to celebrate. She turned to Ethan, who had been by her side throughout the day, and said, Let us go grab a bite together. I want to celebrate this moment with you. Ethan grinned, his pride evident. I do love that you've earned this celebration. They walked to a nearby cafe, laughter spilling into the night air. Over shared platters of food, Clara recounted amusing moments from the event, her heart light. But as the evening progressed, she felt a shift within her. Ethan, I've been thinking, she began, a hint of hesitation in her voice. About expanding my bakery. I want to reach more people, to share my story and my pastries with those who need a little light. Ethan's eyes lit up with excitement. That is a brilliant idea. Clara, you've already built such a strong foundation. What do you envision? Clara took a deep breath, her dreams weaving together like a tapestry. I'd love to create a mobile bakery, a food truck that can travel to different communities and share my pastries combined with the stories behind them. I want to bring joy to people who may not have access to it otherwise. Ethan leaned forward, his enthusiasm contagious. That's amazing. A mobile bakery would allow you to spread your message even further. We can work on a business plan together. You have the vision. Now it's time to bring it to life. Clara felt her heart race with excitement and fear. But what if I fail again? What if I can't handle it all? Every journey has its risks, but remember what you've accomplished. You're stronger than you think, and you have a community that supports you. Embrace the challenge, it is part of your growth. As they discussed the possibilities, Clara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She envisioned the food truck not just as a means to sell pastries, but as a way to connect, uplift, and inspire. Her resilience had transformed her journey into something extraordinary, and she wanted to share that with the world. In the following weeks, Clara poured her heart into the planning process. With Ethan's guidance, she sculpted a business plan for her mobile bakery, outlining locations, recipes, and ways to foster community connections. The excitement bubbled within her as she envisioned traveling to various neighborhoods, bringing joy and sweetness wherever she went. All the while, Clara continued mentoring Mia and other young aspiring bakers at her brick-and-mortar shop. She found a renewed sense of fulfillment in nurturing the next generation, watching their dreams take flight. Each time she shared her knowledge, Clara couldn't help but feel a ripple of hope spreading through her community, reminding her that her journey had the power to inspire others. One afternoon, while baking with Mia, Clara decided to surprise her with a special task. "I'd like you to create a pastry for our next community event," she announced, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "You can develop the recipe and teach the others how to make it. What do you think?" Mia's face lit up with disbelief and joy. "Really? I can do that?" "Absolutely, you have a talent for baking, and I believe in you," Clara replied, her heart swelling with pride. As they worked together, Mia's creativity flourished. Clara watched in awe as the young girl poured her passion into the task, infusing it with her own ideas and flavors. It was a beautiful reminder that their journeys were interconnected, and Clara felt gratitude for the opportunity to guide and inspire someone else. The day of the community event arrived, and Clara stood proudly beside Mia as they showcased the pastries they had created together. The young girl beamed with confidence as she introduced her creation to the crowd, her excitement infectious. "Everyone, this is Mia's blueberry lemon tart. I hope you love it as much as we do," Clara announced. As the crowd eagerly sampled the pastries, Clara felt a warmth radiating from the community, a sense of belonging, resilience, and hope that was palpable. Each bite was a testament to their shared journey, and Clara couldn't help but smile as